Dynamic Metronome. What the hell is it? Well, it's an app that I've just built using Claude, this AI tool, which is absolutely mind-blowing at doing code and stuff, which I just haven't got the brain for. So I always wanted a metronome app that can basically do some of these features. It's going to sound very over the top, I think, if you just need something to keep you in time. But bear with me because I'm going to dive into it. So first of all, it's like standard metronome, right? If you leave it in this mode as it is, simple, right? BPM at the top, you can slide this around. Nice, right? While we're here, I'll show you the basic settings. So we've got time signature. You'll notice if I press play. So the emphasis is on the every first beat out of 3. I'm probably saying this all completely wrong. And like 5/4, yeah, you get like the emphasis on the first beat, and then it repeats after 5. So nice, right? Simple stuff. Metronome sound. So I've got a few in here. I guess I could add more to this. But yeah, you can really customize the noises, because I found sometimes these metronome apps, they just have this horrendous fucking sound that you can't change. So, like, if you don't like that, if that's too clicky, you can bring the pitch down. If you're a psychopath, you might go for like 8-bit. Right, but it's just some little extra thing I put in there because I thought some people might want a specific noise. Then we've got a swing mode. Now this is something, I mean, I'll probably get corrected on this, but I haven't ever seen a metronome app that has a swing function in it. So it makes more sense if I slow this down. This is at 50%, right? If you crank it right up, if you want to do a 5/4 swing song, we've got you covered, pal. I'll put that back in 4/4 so we can hear it a bit easier. See? Right, there we go. So that's the swing function. Again, it's great if you've got these like riffs or whatever you're doing and you want to like practice it in the swing rather than just like to a normal 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of beat. Then I think that's going to be quite useful. Then this is where it gets pretty weird and wild, but I felt like I needed this because I've always liked math rock music and jazz and stuff. So here we go. We're in 4/4, right? But I've got my polyrhythm at 3/4. So every 3 beats, it's going to make a new sound, but the 4/4 beat with that sound is going to carry on. It's easier if I just click play because it sounds confusing. So for the polyrhythm noise, if I pick something completely different, actually woodblock and 8-bit should be fine. So what I'm going to do is change the pitch of the polyrhythm. So we've got this high noise and then the low one. And if you listen to, well, you can tune into either one. If you tune into the 4/4, you'll hear how that beat is still after every 4, right? Let me click play. And obviously right now it's kind of like, huh? I can't hear anything. So we can mess around with the volumes. If I turn... This is a bad example, hang on. There we go, look. So every 3 beats we're getting that cowbell now, but the 4/4 is still going on. And when you speed this up, it's great if you want to play some fucking Tool songs and stuff, right? Yeah, just a minor detail. I know obviously you can do polyrhythms over 4/4. I think like any musician knows that. But just having that kind of that extra little click there to keep you, to remind you, hey, this is where you need to loop the riff round. I think that's unique to what I'm doing here. Anyway, right. Quickly get into... I haven't got to the good bit yet. Bear with me. Into the settings. So just for quality of life, dark mode. I have everything in dark mode. I don't know why it's not just the default, to be honest. What kind of like, what crazy people use light mode? Anyway, right, so visual aid. This has got an epilepsy warning on. You'll see why. And I really love this rainbow effect. And again, I'm not blowing my own horn or anything like Claude, sorry, Claude Don't know. It just came up with this rainbow effect, right? So when I press play now, wild, right? So if you want now, what we could do is we could turn the volume off. I know there's apps that do this. This is kind of, again, basic. And if you want to just practice, go into the beat, the rhythm of the lights. There you go. So I'll turn it off because that's going to get very annoying to look at. Yeah, turn off visual aid. Now this is the cool feature that I really wanted to kind of show off. Dynamic BPM. What you do is you pick a range, right? So let's go. I'll show a really extreme example first. So we'll go 49, 346, right? Frequency bar decides how often the BPM changes between these, right? It can go anywhere. It can be like down here. It could change up here. And obviously, if you have it down low, you're rarely going to see these changes. So if I move the volume back up. Oh wait, hang on. I don't want the polyrhythm. Let's not make this too confusing. This is a lot to take in. All right. And you see up here the BPM changes, right? Even though I'm only at 5%, it's probably going to sit on 94 for a while because this is really low. So if you were playing a riff, you're like really slow, and now suddenly you're really fast. Crazy little idea that I came up with that I think if you want to practice these like quick tempo changes, again, it's really good for like math rock and stuff like that. Let's crank it all the way up, right? And the way I programmed this, right, is it's like every 8 to 10 beats, I think it changes, but it's random. Sometimes it will be like 4. There you go. Now you can really see it going for it. Yeah, so I just thought that's a nice little feature. You can kind of give it a range and then just like practice these random tempos. Let's hit the refresh button. There we go. Right, so that's the dynamic BPM. If we now go into this setting, I'll stop it. This is gradual mode, and this is really fun. So you pick a range. I've got 177, 276, and you'll notice this. BPM, when it reaches 276, it will start climbing back down. And when it reaches 177, it will go back up again. So the idea of this is to just practice like getting your speed. There we are. So you imagine you're fucking shredding something and you're like, oh shit, this is getting really fucking hard now. And so obviously then when you hit a brick wall, you can bring it back down and hit the old refresh. There we go. And then as you get better, you move the slider up a bit, right? Because when I used to practice guitar riffs and stuff, I used to always have to like then stop and then pick another tempo and stuff like that. But this will just gradually increase it for you. So it's going to be like automatic training. I'm probably talking fucking absolute nonsense. Anyway, so that's that. And if you have dynamic mode off, you'll notice it will just go all the way to the top. All the way to 360. Again, I might change this. I might make it go to 400. I don't know. Depends what people sort of say. The feedback's always good. I think that's everything. But yeah, it gives you an idea of, well, one, like the stupid ideas that I come up with to do with like music, but also the power of Claude. And this is the last thing I want to mention, right? This isn't a fucking sponsor for Anthropic, but the way I managed to do this, because the code ended up being, I can show you, look, being so fucking long. I mean, look at this, right? Imagine me, someone who doesn't do any coding, just trying to work that out. No, this is only one. Like, there's various scripts and stuff. You know, I've got like the styles for like graphics and things. Anyway, right. What I did is in the projects, you can give custom instructions. This is super useful. So this is going to sound so stupid. I've told it you're an expert app coder with an eye for precise measurements. That's not a word. Precise. I don't know. Precise. Whoops. Yeah, precise measurements and alignments. Your ideal app would be based off brands such as Apple and Google. I tried to get it to make it stylish, but I know that it's limited. So in your code, include notes that explain the functionality for future reference. I like to know, although I'm not a coder, I like to know what the hell it's doing and why. So there's a lot of these little notes inside the code that remind me of like what each bit is. And then this is what Claude suggested, right? Because I kept hitting these limits, and I had to basically copy the code out and then give it to another AI to try and like stitch it together and all this stuff. It was a nightmare. But what I found is useful is giving it this little extra prompt here. So when suggesting code changes, please provide specific step-by-step instructions on exactly where to add, remove, or modify code. This was Claude's suggestion. Sorry, I keep saying Cloud and it's Claude. Include clear markers like find this existing code and add or change it to this. So it realized where I was struggling and how it could help me, and then it was like, add this to your custom instructions, bruv. So that's exactly what I did. And ever since I did that, I got such clear instructions. It was amazing. And it helped me build this like incredibly elaborate app. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show off. But basically, AI is just ridiculous, man. Like, I know people slag off the coding stuff and it's never going to replace like real coders, blah, blah, blah. But just for like someone like me who had this idea in their mind and I could never make it, I'm really grateful that these tools now exist. And who knows, like a week from now, it might look way better. And then I can share it with the world. All right, anyway, that's it.